Welcome to Red Eye. Hello, everyone. I'm Tom Shalhoub. Let's check in with TV's Andy Levy at the Red Eye Tease Deck. Andy?
Thanks, Tom. Coming up on The Big Show, Esquire magazine is outraged that Taylor Swift hasn't publicly endorsed a candidate for president. And more days. Plus, the UN debates whether junk food is a human rights concern. It's good to see them finally addressing the #1 concern of the people of Syria. And finally, the secret to happiness is finally revealed. Contrary to what Tom Shalhoub says, it is not that feeling when the acid completely dissolves the bodies. Back to you, Tom.
I thought it was. Andy, thank you. Let's welcome our guests. Remember, if you Google her, there's no E in her last name. I can't stress that enough. Entertainment reporter Anna Lacey. He has a twinkle in his eye, and it's highly contagious. Observer columnist Michael Malice. He hosts a comedy show in a casino in Aruba. So why did he come to New York? In the winter, comedian Ray Ellen. Ray Aruba Ellen. And he gets in trouble so much he should change his name to Cumia Culpa. Sitting right next to me, host of the Anthony Cumia Show, Anthony Cumia. Okay, let's start the show. As usual, celebs are refusing to tell us who to vote for. Celebrity opinions matter, and we want to hear them. In a piece for Esquire magazine titled, "Why Are Influential Celebrities Remaining Silent in This Election?" writer Matt Miller notes, a shockingly large number of Americans are prepared to make a reality TV star the ruler of the free world. And yet some superstars are still standing on the sidelines, apparently willing to just let that happen. The writer calls out a number of celebs for not taking a stand against Trump, including Taylor Swift. Wow, look at that. She has twice the followers I have. Sean P. Diddy Combs, Mark Wahlberg, and of course, Clint Howard. Clint, America wants to know who you're voting for. The outraged writer asks, maybe these artists are protecting their brand. F that. If their brand means to sacrifice the very values that make them human and a contributing member of this society, then they live a sad, hollow life. As opposed to the guy who wrote that article yelling at them. Anthony Cumia. I bet, you know what? I bet you love this guy.
Oof. I've never bought into the celebrity endorsement. Doesn't change anyone I know. It doesn't change their mind.
But you're not a celebrity worshiper. What about the people?
No, I am.
I mean, you...
I get smitten.
You do get smitten?
Yes.
Well, like Taylor Swift. She's got a lot of fans, and they do whatever she says.
Yeah, and she's not saying anything. You know what that tells me? Chirump. I think all these celebrities kind of going, yeah, geez, I'm kind of tired of the usual. We want something a little different, change it up. But I can't dare say I want to vote for Donald Trump. You're just done. You'd be excommunicated from Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, there are some, as you know. You got, who do we got? There's the...
Scott Baio.
Scott Baio! Hasn't dimmed his star at all, has it?
Yeah, no, not at all.
He's still up there. Ray Ellen, welcome to the show.
Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, you too. Now, what's the deal here? Celebrities, why do you think these particular celebrities, Sean Diddy Combs, I mean, come on, I think we know where he's going to vote.
Well, they're afraid that if they endorse Trump, their fans are going to get upset.
Yes.
And if they endorse Clinton and Trump somehow wins, Trump's going to do his best. He's going to make it his mission to get them out of showbiz and building that wall. That's what's going to happen. They're afraid of getting evicted from show business if Trump pulls it off.
That's right. But he couldn't have any. I mean, he doesn't have the cultural cachet anymore. I mean, the Hollywood left dislikes him so much. He's not going to be able to have any effect on their career, right?
No, you never know. He's a sneaky guy. He might. But I don't think they don't care about the Taylor Swift fans are 14. They can't vote. You might as well get an endorsement from Barney. It's valueless.
Oh, you're right. That's right. She does skew young, doesn't she?
I'm
Michael,
her
you
oldest
disagree.
fan.
Wait a minute.
Barney's a known libertarian, so you're just crazy.
That's right.
No, but you know, right now in public schools, kids are taught that McCarthyism was the worst thing that's ever happened to America, and it was our darkest days. And yet the left is practicing this openly and publicly with Trump supporters. But I disagree a little bit with Anthony. I think a lot of people do follow what celebrities say because they don't have any principles of their own, so they just want to be cool. And that's how progressivism gets over, by convincing everyone that if you're going to be smart, if you're going to be with it, if you're going to be intelligent, by default you're going to be a Democrat. And that's how look at Obama's campaign in 08. It wasn't about the issues, about this guy likes the shows you like, he listens to the music you like, let's get him into office.
He's cool. That's
Right.
why they like him, right, Anna? Do you listen to celebrities?
I don't, and I'm actually surprised by this article because I feel like I get yelled at on Twitter and Instagram by every celebrity I follow about going out to vote and this and that, and they take a stance.
Yes.
I understand why huge celebrities like Taylor Swift. I mean, she's a corporation. She's not even a person. So it's like there's just PR points.
She's not
a person anymore.
Have you met her? Have you interviewed her?
No, but I'm sure she'd be a robot. Like it doesn't. She's not going to say anything controversial. It would just kill everything she's worked hard for. I don't think we have a dearth of famous people speaking up politically.
Yes.
It's just damned if you don't, damned if you do. If they do speak, then they'll say, you're a stupid celebrity. What do you know? Show me how smart you are that you can say this.
Well, it's so true. I mean, look, it's half the country. Or even if, let's say Trump is like 40, 45%, even if he's not half, he has millions of people who love him. So why does any celebrity speak out? I mean, they have to sell tickets, right, Michael?
Because they have to say that they're part of the program and make all those views be regarded as not just wrong, but literally illegitimate. So you have to denounce and renounce people who aren't part of your tribe. So, and we're seeing this more and more with just tribalism in politics, which frankly, as someone who's an anarchist, is delighted because I don't want political discourse. I want the conflict.
You want tribalism?
I have to say, I respect it more when artists do speak out because it's like you're playing into like, I'm wild. I have to say what's on my mind, express my heart.
Yeah.
You know, it's the artist way. When they don't, I'm like, you're not.
Well,
You're not that legit.
especially, I have to respect the ones that stand up for Trump, like, John Voight. I mean, I love the guy to death. I mean, it doesn't matter what Trump says. John Voight gets on TV that night and says, it's fantastic what he just said. I love it. I love the guy.
Don't they seem to crucify the people that are on the right,
Yes.
the celebrities?
Yeah.
And that's why they don't want to come out and say anything. If you say you endorse Hillary, no one's going to chase you around for it. That's just your opinion. If you endorse Trump, you are just part of that alt-right crazy group of people.
So crazy.
Maybe a lot of celebrities are undecided. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah,
maybe,
that's right.
Maybe
They're
Mark
still-
Wahlberg's the Ken Bone of actors.
He has to look at all the data. He doesn't have all his data points.
Yeah, sure.
All right, moving on. What's the difference between Democrats and Republicans? Let's see what kids think.
What is the difference between Republicans and Democrats?
One's stupid and one's not stupid.
The 3-minute video was made by a company called Cut. So what's a Democrat and what's a Republican?
Democrat, I think, is a sports team. So the Republicans is an ancient god, movie, show, or it's one of those statues in the back.
Close but wrong. Here's another child.
What do you think? What's a Republicans?
Like us, we can't be naked outside. Republic.
Okay.
Republicans can't be naked outside. Anyway, I did notice a theme in some of the kids' answers.
One's stupid to be a Republican because they want to fight against women's rights, and that's really just stupid and mean.
I think a Republican, refuses the law. Why would the Republican be against the law and the Democrat be with the law?
I don't know, they're bad people.
Oh.
Let's hear more from the young boy.
So what is Democrats?
People that can be naked outside.
Some of the kids, I couldn't tell their politics, so they helpfully identified their party preference.
We're Democrats.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
You don't have to apologize.
You do not. Any final thoughts, little boy?
So Democrats, people can be naked in outside?
And there's no placements
Okay.
or spots.
Okay.
So they can be naked all you want.
The boy did make some good points, Anna. I mean, Republicans, they're not supposed to be naked outside. I mean, so he's right.
They're very conservative.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
They keep nakedness for inside. No, I think this video is cute. But I think it also really tells an interesting point, which is that there's no point in arguing with people over politics because it's ingrained in you from a young age, and it's what your parents teach you for the most part. It's just like religion, and that's pretty much your baseline your whole life.
Well, whatever happened to, Ray, help me out. I mean, these kids, obviously, they have, I didn't see any conservative kids there. Their parents are probably very liberal.
It's a very, very liberal group of kids.
Yeah.
I'm sure that, You know, maybe Cosby could have gotten some other answers. It was like a bad kids say the darndest thing. Kids say the darndest things.
You know, those
type of
were
thing.
great videos he
They were
made.
great.
They were.
How do you feel about Republican and Democrat, and what kind of coffee does your mom like?
No, he never got into those.
Good Cosby.
subjects.
Don't drink
They
that.
were very wholesome, those Cosby videos.
Oh, of course they were.
This
This just proves something I've known for a long time. Kids are stupid. They're just stupid. Even the older ones with
As they should
Minnie
be.
Mouse
I mean-
ears or whatever. She doesn't even know.
She doesn't know, but so why are they asking? Look, they asked the kids because they want to make the video. Then we showed it. We looked at this today and we said, "My gosh, this is the greatest thing. We got to show it on our show." Why do we love it so much?
Well, because it's adorable. The kid with the naked thing was great. But I mean, this is like akin to those interviews in the movie 1984, where they're just kind of hitting them with Big Brother is good. They're just teaching them.
Yes.
And it's exactly what you said about religion. It's just like religion. Yeah, they're taught at a young age. Their parents give them whatever ideology they want, and then they're supposed to run with it.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do with religion. But with politics, I think they ought to lay off a little bit, don't you think, Michael Malice?
No, because then if they're laying off, then the public schools are brainwashing the kids, and they're all going to grow up to be statist totalitarian Bernie Sanders voters. Is that what you want? Is that what you want, Tom Shalhoub?
My kid, I have to redoctrinate. Is that a word?
Exactly. Or
I have to
deprogram.
I have to deprogram them when they
Yes.
come home. When my daughter came home from school, she came home and she said, "We had an election at school, 100% for Barack Obama." That's what she said. It was 100%. 100.
That happened at my school growing up, too. I grew up in Park Slope, Brooklyn. It was 100% Democratic every election we had as kids.
I was an immigrant, and my parents knew the first thing to do is send me to private school, and I'm very glad that they did, so I don't have to go through this nonsense.
Wow. You know, I bet you looked great in the blazer and the shorts.
My idol growing up was Alex P. Keaton, because he looked like me, and in
brother.
second grade I had an attaché case in school.
You
I
did. Well,
did.
the thing is, I was liberal in high school. I think most people are. You know, and I used to write in my diary how much of a left-wing liberal I was. But then you changed.
Dear diary,
I
I'm
did.
such a left-wing liberal.
Then you get your first
I used to
paycheck.
write about loving NKOTB and how I'd teach my children about it. And I might.
I used to write.
But still, it
and
wasn't
I
that
did
far
that
off.
too.
I used to write about the bullies and how I was going to take care of them. Thankfully, no one found that diary.
Remember when you got your first paycheck and saw the taxes that came out? And you're like, hey, maybe I'm thinking a little differently right now.
Exactly.
It was frightening.
That's what happens. That's when you start to move to the right, right?
I think it would have been great if one of these kids who was talking about being how great it is to be a Democrat, if one of the mothers just said, you know, your father and I are Republicans, and I'm tired of you being a freeloader. Get out of the house. That would be a great video.
That's a good lesson.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. With the election just days away, Donald Trump is focusing on the issues that matter most to Americans.
Wind is very, very expensive, and it only works when it's windy. You know,
Right.
That is right. Okay, that's Trump on Herman Cain's radio show talking about wind power. The reclusive billionaire has long been opposed to it. In addition to being expensive, wind isn't the best source of energy for America.
It kills all the birds. I don't know if you know that. Thousands of birds that are lying on the ground. The eagle, you know, in certain parts of California, they've killed so many eagles. You know, they put you in jail if you kill an eagle, and yet these windmills kill them by the hundreds.
Is he advocating putting windmills in jail?
He is.
I was trying to figure that out.
That's his new slogan.
Okay.
Put the windmills in jail and make America great again. But look, this is where I like Trump the most, when he's just kind of rambling on the radio, right? Wouldn't you love?
He's the best. I'm cringing. I said, if you want Trump to win, every time he gives a speech, I get the feeling like when someone pulls a rubber band back and points it at your face. I just sit there like this, wincing, waiting for it to be over and hope it doesn't end too badly. The windmill thing is fantastic. I'm a big advocate of wind power from the Sim City games.
Oh, yeah.
You got to start with it. You
do.
can't afford the power plant.
No.
So you go to that, you pop them all over. So that's all I know about them.
Yeah, it's
And
great.
they're great.
The big windmills, Ray.
Yeah.
Look, Trump is right. Did you see? He says the birds are all lying on the ground.
They're all lying on the ground. That's why, Sully Sullenberger's a big fan of the windmills because it'll kill all the birds. He's going to endorse.
Wait a minute. You know what, Ray? You're right. Isn't that what got him into the
That's
trouble?
what got the plane down.
But it wasn't bald eagles flying into his,
Bald
engine.
eagle, pigeon. It's a bird.
It's all the same.
It's all a bird.
Michael, you know what? Wind power is a little ridiculous.
Yes, absolutely.
And it costs. I mean, I think we should do it, But
well, the market should decide to do if it's cost effective. But first of all, bald eagles are no longer endangered. They're the least concern according to the things that ranked endangered species. So they're fine,
Really?
which is a great thing since the 70s.
that's
Number
an
one.
official. Is that an official category?
Yes.
Least concerned.
It is.
They have a picture of the.
Yes, it goes least concerned, threatened, near threatened, endangered, critically endangered, extinct. But, you know, we all sit down and think, how could this election get crazier?
Yeah.
How could we amp it up a notch? I know. Let's get Donald Trump on the Herman Cain show and have the two of them discussing bald eagles and wind turbines.
Well, look, Herman Cain ran himself, and I think he had the Trump crowd when he was running. I don't know if it was last time or when was it?
It was last time, 2012, yeah.
It was last time, and he had the 666 or something.
999, and Michelle Bachmann made the joke, if you turn it around, the devil's in the details.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She didn't like 999?
No, because that's giving the government 3 tax venues. It's sales tax and a VAT and a income tax, so you can jack up all 3 to 99.99.
Jeez, I don't like it either, Ben.
Yeah.
Anna?
I think it's amazing we finally found a group that Donald Trump has empathy for. Bald eagles.
Yes.
If only they were human.
Because he's bald.
I also love that he was tweeting. They pointed out in this article that he tweeted that the wind turbines were so evil killing all of these birds that they made hunters look nice or something. Or no, hunters are, I don't know. But the point is, his sons. Let me tell you this tweet. I have it.
No,
I
I mean,
have it. I wrote it down.
I have the documents.
Wind farms are killing many thousands of birds. They make hunters look like nice people. Speaking of, his sons have posed with all of the animals that they've killed.
Yeah.
So he's like saying his own sons, they're posing
Well, he
with
said nice
leopards.
people. He said, and the
It
only
makes them look like nice people, which means that they're not nice people.
I say, oh
But his
wow, you
sons.
really see the subject.
I'd rather go up against a stationary fan than a guy with a rifle. I mean, right? It's an easier battle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, I mean, is there anything wrong? I mean, they tried to vilify these guys for hunting. What's wrong with hunting? You hunt, you hold the animal up. Isn't that
Well,
what you
they're
do?
not going to eat the elephant or the leopard. Let's
Oh.
be real here. They're not cooking. They're not killing deer.
I didn't
But
see
it's-
that. They hunted elephants?
Yes.
That
yes.
doesn't seem that sporting to me, but
It's really not.
How
The
is it
elephant-
not sporting? It's the most dangerous land animal. Are you kidding? You're going to kill something that's 10 tons? That's more sporting than a
also-
deer.
I like giving them peanuts.
But the wind energy is to fight climate change, right?
Yes.
So, and that's so that we don't kill all the animals. So if some birds die in the wind turbines, I'll take that deal.
Yeah, it's like survival of the fittest. You know, dumb birds don't be running into the propellers. Okay, coming up, is the UN using its time wisely to tackle the tough issues? Of course not. It's the UN. More after the break. It just might be the human rights issue of our time. Islamic terrorism? No. French fries. A UN expert has decided that fast food is a human rights issue. Hilal Elver, the UN's special representative on the right to food, I'm glad we have one of those, said Tuesday that cheap, nutrient-devoid dietary patterns are proliferating, and that presents a human rights concern. She said that while there were nearly 800 million people living in hunger around the globe, more than 2 billion people suffer from micronutrient deficiency, and another 600 million people are obese, meaning nearly half the world's population could be considered without access to adequate food. Now, that's genius. Putting the fat people in with the starving people to boost your numbers. Now, what is Elver's solution? The first step, she says, is to recognize nutrition as an essential component of the human right to adequate food, reinforced by monitoring, accountability, and transparency. Well, of course, that's just the first step. But look out, anytime someone's trying to establish a right, they're only interested in one thing: control. Accountability to bureaucrats? No thanks. Keep your Common Core standards out of my Happy Meal. Michael Malice, I think I know where you stand on this issue.
I disagree with you, actually, because
wow.
we have so much food on Earth. The only reasons people have famines is because governments prevent them from getting access to that food. Like in the 90s, North Korea, which I did a book about, as you know,
yes.
They wouldn't let the UN go in and feed the people because then the government said then we're going to be superfluous, and up to 10% of the population of 1 million people starved. So if the UN is saying that people have a human right to access to food, that's a good excuse to go in and knock some of these dictators off. So you can't completely disagree with them on that issue.
Listen, I agree with you, Michael Malice, but but not this UN person. She spends all her time in the report talking about the mass production of food, and she wants to go like organic and make sure we're all like,
and it's crazy. Up until what, like 50 years ago, the biggest problem that's faced humanity over centuries was starvation. Not having access to food was the biggest human problem that we've conquered in the last 100 years, and it's a wonderful thing. And it's a wonderful thing that poor people are obese, because before they would be hungry 24/7.
It's a wonderful thing they're obese.
Yeah, tell that to
No,
a
it's
poor
created a
fat guy.
whole
Why would I
other
talk to a poor fat guy?
epidemic.
What the hell's wrong with you?
Well, that's
Show off your abs.
I mean,
But that's
I think
what she was talking about, which is that you can be obese, but you don't have proper nutrition. And I think she has a valid point. If you go to impoverished neighborhoods, you really don't have access to fresh fruits. They have all kinds of fast food. And if you live on a diet of that, which if you have a fixed income, it makes sense to get your 1,500 calorie meal over your 500 calorie sandwich, because that'll sustain you, but it's going to put you in really poor health.
But Anna, do you want the UN making these decisions?
I think that someone has to come in and make decisions on these things.
Someone.
Well, no, I think government should.
Well, what about these?
I don't know about the UN, but government should.
Yeah, see, I don't know what I've convinced her. Ray, I don't like these. Well, first of all, what is the UN doing here? I say we kick them out of New York. I don't like them.
The UN, they're all
Hell yeah.
They're all sitting there on 49th Street eating Big Macs and Fribbles.
They
What
are.
are we talking about?
Look at the fast food places. They're all lined
They're all
up
up and down First Avenue.
Yes.
I got a buddy of mine. He works at a hedge fund. All he eats all day is onion rings and fries and burgers. And you know what? I think we need to go around the world, give everybody a hedge fund, and let them decide what they want to eat.
Yes, and those guys. That's the thing. Do you know why
the hedge fund guy can have something healthy if he wants
can,
it.
but he doesn't want it. You know why? Because healthy food is not delicious.
It's not delicious.
There
it's
you
no
go.
good.
Awful.
What good is life without
it's
it?
all about, instant gratification, laziness, and it tastes good. It tastes much better than making something healthy. No one's too far away to go to a store where they could buy something more healthy
That's
than a
not
Big Mac.
true. Like in Detroit,
No,
they don't
that
have
isn't
those.
true.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Really?
places.
That
yes.
isn't
You
true.
could not
If you don't have a car, you have to
Yeah,
rely on public
exactly.
transport. You have to take a bus in the middle of Idaho to get to a grocery store
What?
that'll feed you well.
Isn't that terrible?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're like a single
Speaking
mom
from
raising a
someone
family.
who makes good money in New York City, yes.
I didn't always make good money.
Michael, the anarchist.
And I bet you
want to
didn't
know
eat very well.
what do you do about these food deserts, though? I want to hear a libertarian or whatever you are. Your
Whoever
solution.
wants to help them is more than welcome to do so. That's the exact answer.
I'm going to go
And
around
and
with
look,
trick or treat for UNICEF and just tell people to put broccoli spears in it, and I'll send that off.
in all
My
seriousness,
parents used to give raisins and pennies, and they were real fun.
we just didn't answer the door because we were immigrants. But in all seriousness, this just shows how the market works. We have so much food that we're throwing in the trash, and people are obese. If you let the market speak, and all these other countries that have, like Venezuela, where they're running out of food, if they didn't have this socialist paradise, everyone would have plenty of food there. This is an exact example of what happens when you don't have anarchy.
And
That's it.
If only people that were living in poor areas were obese and fat, I could understand that. But there's people all over that are just eating horribly and fat, and they live in areas that they can obviously shop.
Right. I guess what I'm saying is that there should be an affordable way to eat healthy if you are on a very limited income, which is not the case. It's
You know
just
what?
not. If you look
now
at the
that's
research
Darwinism.
They could eat
in
each
our country.
other and get the nutritional value from the fat guy in their household.
Comedians are very Darwinian. Okay. Coming up,
Yikes.
radio's Brian Schwartzman. No, I think it's TV's Andy Levy with halftime next. Welcome back, America. Time to find out what we got wrong and what we missed from TV's Andy Levy over in the Red Eye News Deck. Hey, Andy.
Hey, Tom, how the hell are you?
Good.
Esquire writer outraged that some celebs haven't given their opinion on the election. Anthony, you said the fact that you think the fact that people like Taylor Swift haven't said anything means that they are voting for Trump.
Yeah.
I do think that's true for some of them. I'm not sure I buy it for Tay. I call her Tay.
Tay.
Yeah.
Do you know all the songs?
Yeah. I don't.
I do.
Do you?
Yeah, well, my daughter's into Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I know them too.
Oh, he doesn't believe me.
My daughter. Yeah. That leads me to my next point. Aruba Ray. May I call you Aruba Ray?
Please do.
Okay. You said Taylor Swift's fans are 14, they can't vote. I don't believe that's true. Not the fact that 14-year-olds can't vote. I do agree that that's true. I don't agree that the age of her fan base is all teenagers. I think she has a lot of adult fans, like Tom Shalhoub.
I think you might be right, and I think that I'm also guilty of that being one of my little secrets. I love her songs; they're catchy.
There you go.
I hate myself every time a new one comes out.
As you should. She's horrible. Oh. No, I kid the tail.
Wow.
No, we're good. I'm good friends with her, so I can joke. Anna, you said Swift is basically a corporation, that she's not going to say anything controversial or, take a side. I generally agree, and remember, it was Michael Jordan who famously said Republicans buy shoes too when his sneakers came out.
Oh, yeah, okay. I didn't know he said that.
He did.
Great quote.
Cool.
He may not have actually said it. He was quoted as saying it, though.
Oh, okay.
Some people aren't sure, though. She has, though. She's had her little controversial smackdowns with Kanye and Katy Perry and people like that, right?
I mean, the Katy Perry stuff is all like alleged, alluded to. She's never said it. And then Kanye, she like threw Kanye under the bus, I think, because she's just pretending she's Miss Perfect. And I'm pretty sure, I believe the Kardashian side on that.
Okay.
That
She
gave
wrote
him
bad
permission.
blood about Katy Perry.
Yeah.
Allegedly, but she's never said that.
Yeah.
And Tom's going to sing it for us right now.
The weird thing is how all those feuds always end up with more record sales for everyone involved.
Yeah.
It's so weird how that happens. By the way, I thought maybe this article was satire, because I was reading it going, this dude can't really be upset about this. But an editor of Esquire was on Twitter, I guess, Wednesday and Thursday, saying things like that this is important because Taylor Swift isn't a private citizen, which is not only dumb and wrong, it's kind of dangerous. What else does he think you can do to Taylor Swift?
Watch Forensic Files.
Yeah, exactly. Malice, you said this is all about making certain opinions illegitimate, and I think that's kind of right, but I also think it goes further than that, because now you want to make not having a public opinion illegitimate.
Right, it's just like that Maoist thing where you have to have the struggle session where you come out in public and you admit your sins. It's like the personal is the political is their slogan, which is despicable.
It reminds me of that Black Mirror episode, and by that I mean every Black Mirror episode. Anthony, you said if you endorse Trump, you're one of those alt-right crazy people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was putting it in the context of what the left and what the Democrats say that we're crazy. Oh, okay, good. I want to clear that up for some of the audience. Not that bright. It's very early in the morning.
Condemn the audience. That's a good move.
Yeah. Kids explain Democrats and Republicans. Anna, you pointed out correctly that all of what the kids said comes from their parents. The best part of this, though, watching the moms who got embarrassed when their kids said things like Republicans are stupid, as if we don't know where they learned to say that.
Right. Well, because then they were like disregarding the always be nice in public rule, that they thought trumped that. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Tom, why do you think parents should inculcate religious beliefs in their kids but lay off the politics?
Yeah, because I mean, you can't. You're gonna pass your religion on. That's acceptable.
So why shouldn't you pass on your politics too?
Because they're gonna change anyway. So don't force it. Don't force it, Andy.
Okay. That doesn't really answer the question. But I'll let it go because it's Friday. Trump says wind power kills eagles. Anthony, you kind of mocked Trump for this interview.
Yes.
I'm going to go the other way at least a little bit. He said some things in this that were correct. He said things like wind and solar aren't working at large scale. He's absolutely correct about that.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. Sure, we do know that. But I don't know how accurate he was about the bird deaths, or if it even matters. Who cares?
Okay. I didn't agree with him though. He talked about the Palm Springs wind farms, and he said that they're horrible and they're all broken down. When I lived in LA, I used to love driving by those things. I think usually you're on the 10 freeway or whatever. You feel like you're in a post-apocalyptic wasteland because it's just these big things, and some of them are rotating slowly, some aren't moving at all, and it's like something out of The Stand or something like that.
A lot of Trump's statements make America sound like a level in Fallout 4. But I love it.
Yeah. Malice, you said, how can we make this election crazier? I know, let's get Trump on the Herman Cain radio show.
Yeah.
Here's something I don't understand. Kane's radio show is on WSB. That's 95.5 on your FM dial in Atlanta. How is he not on 99.9?
That's a good question.
I mean,
Let's call the FEC.
How did they not snap him up?
Yeah.
Aruba Ray, you said you'd rather go up against a fan than a man with a rifle. We were talking about hunting.
Yeah, sure.
I would compare the turbines more to like a guy having a rotating saw, I think.
Yeah, but you can avoid that rotating saw. You just don't walk into it.
Yeah, I guess that is usually a good strategy with the rotating saw. You are correct.
Sure.
I just wanted to make sure you knew that. I was checking. The UN calling for junk food to be a human rights issue. Malice, you said the reason nations have famines is because of their governments, which is an absolutely great point. I don't agree with you, though, so stop patting.
I did.
I don't. I don't agree with you agreeing with the UN on this, Because I think it's nuts for you to think that this means the UN will focus on the evil governments as part of the problem.
Well, it's actually been one of the things that have been as part of the human rights complaints against North Korea. So that's at least one example where it's actually been useful.
And what have they done about it?
They're actually putting up the pressure on China, and there's sanctions getting increased on North Korea.
Is it working?
Somewhat, yeah. There's a universal worldwide consensus that this government cannot stand for much longer, and the Chinese are the last holdouts who are coming around from that point of view.
All right, please stop shooting down everything I say.
I'm sorry. I mean,
really annoying.
I mean, bald eagle joke.
Just lastly, Anna, while I agree with you about the lack of nutritious food options for people in low-income areas, what exactly do you think the government should do about it?
That's an excellent question. I don't have the answer for it, but I do think that there needs to be something that the food companies aren't profiting tremendously. Meanwhile, everyone's health is going down the tubes, and then we all end up paying for it when people don't have insurance.
So the government's got to do something,
Yes.
but you don't know what.
Well, I'm not in policy.
Well, you need to be.
Well, they could have little stamps
Maybe
that
I
people can trade in
should.
to get food.
Just airdrop hummus to everybody.
I would like that. In pouches, though, or just?
No, just open.
Just free
squirt
hummus.
right out of the plane.
That might be bad.
Yeah.
I am done.
Thank you, Andy. Yep. Coming up, a monster of an interview. We talked to a monster hunter. That's why I said monster. What's the secret to being happy? Definitely sticking thumbs up in the air. That's part of it. But there's more. An internet personal development guru has identified 15 things you need to give up in order to be satisfied with your life. Here's some of the things you need to give up. The need to be always right. The need to be in control. Complaining. Trying to impress people. Criticizing. Resisting change. Your fears. Got to give that up. And finally, listening to internet personal development gurus. Anna, this was actually good advice, but it seems like it couldn't be done.
Exactly, which is kind of a sad thought that maybe we'll never be happy. But I mean, it was like the list was so hard that you could spend your entire life in therapy on one of them and maybe resolve it.
Yeah.
But I kind of thought like the whole point of being happy, I thought everyone had decided like just stop thinking about it and you'll on your deathbed look back and be like, I was pretty happy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I think it's just like your obsession with finding happiness makes you unhappy, so just stop thinking about it.
Like George Bailey, isn't that right?
Well, you know, I had a friend who was really the life of the party, really hilarious guy, but deep down he was very depressed. And he asked me for advice, and I said, listen, I gave him this exact list. Give up on criticism, give up on your past, give up on your fears. And he goes, Michael, you're a smart guy and you're right. And he took my advice, and that man's name was Robin Williams.
Oh, wow.
I thought
What a buzzkill.
So what happened there?
Stay tuned.
Michael has.
I haven't heard from him in a while. He won't answer my emails.
He has a dark sense about him, Michael Malcolm.
Yes.
I thought that his story was going to end with him staring into a full-length mirror. Isn't that what you thought?
Something I thought it was him. Yeah. You know who that was? Mitch.
That's not a Jewish name.
It sounds great, but I read all 15 of those things, and if you adhere to every one, apparently I stepped over 3 of the happiest people on my way here.
Yes.
It just seems to be you give up on everything, climb into a cardboard box, and hope for the best.
Yeah, it's true.
They didn't look too happy.
Well, some people, they don't look like they certainly don't look stressed out in that situation, but you're right. Sometimes you do have to put a little pressure on yourself to succeed. Isn't that right, Aruba Ray?
Yes, you do have to put pressure on yourself, but it's impossible. If everyone was happy, you won't have any more comedians. There'll be no love songs because everything comes out of pain and sadness. The only true way to really be happy is to come down to Aruba.
Is that right? And your show. How many times you're there? Half the year?
I'm there
or
like
something,
100 days a year.
It's such a life. It's fantastic. But that does make you happy.
Extraordinarily happy.
Your environment can make you happy.
That's why I've been spending so much time there, truthfully. Because I went there 4.5 years ago, and I just felt so good when I was there.
I don't care that much. Okay, very special thanks to Anna Lacey, Michael Malice, Ray Ellen, and Anthony Cumia. That does it for me. I'm Tom Shalhoub. I'll see you next time.